Hi there, I'm Dorothy Bunce. I'm an attorney licensed in the state of Nevada, and my job is to help people who are facing foreclosure get their lives back on track. You probably guessed that's why my business is called A Fresh Start. I want to explain how the foreclosure process happens here in Nevada, since foreclosure is now officially the other F word. I help people in foreclosure get a fresh start using the power of the U.S. Bankruptcy Court. I said it. The B word, bankruptcy. Most people like that word about as much as they like the words dentist or IRS, or maybe even teenagers. But let me assure you that bankruptcy isn't the boogeyman you probably think it is. Rather, the bankruptcy process can be a powerful tool to help give you time and resources to get your finances back in shape. The word bankruptcy didn't make you run away, did it? You're still with me, right? Good, because while bankruptcy can offer ways to help you deal with foreclosure, it's not the only way to face the other F word. And in this video, I'll explain frankly and as simply as possible the ways you can choose to face this issue. Most people panic when they get behind on their mortgage payments, and panic leads to bad judgment, resulting in bad decisions in a time of financial stress. Some people walk away from their homes. Others try to hide their finances. Others grow a mustache, develop a fake accent, and leave the state. The first principal rule with any financial crisis, whether it's bankruptcy or any other, is don't panic, get all the facts, and be aware of your legal rights. In other words, don't do something rash like abandon your home until you explore all your options. But that's just common sense. In order to help you use the foreclosure process to your advantage, I need to explain how foreclosure works, rather than letting the system beat you up. As an attorney with more than 20 years experience solving financial problems, I want to share some of my secrets with you so you'll have the best possible chance of being able to keep your home if that's what you choose to do. If you choose not to keep your home, I will anticipate your questions about how the foreclosure process works in Nevada. After all, if you don't know the rules, it's very hard to win around the game. Now, before I begin, I want you to know that when you're facing foreclosure, it's not much of a game. There's nothing funny or fun about having financial problems, but I can tell you from my own experience that if you let despair get to you, you'll become powerless to fight back to protect yourself and your family. And we must fight back to survive. Another important tool you can use to fight despair is humor. You can find humor even in this situation and use humor to lift your spirits. If you don't force yourself to laugh a little, it can be hard to stop crying or screaming. So I hope you don't mind if I ask you to try and see the funny side of this terrible situation I can only refer to as the other F word, foreclosure. Since every state has different foreclosure proceedings, I can only legally discuss the procedures used in Nevada. Even if you live in Nevada, if you own property in another state, the laws where the property is located will control the foreclosure process. If you've been making your mortgage payments on time up until now, you're in luck. Several months will go by before the foreclosure actually begins. Foreclosure doesn't begin until your mortgage company sends your loan to a third-party company to pursue the foreclosure process. Now hold on tight. This is where things might get scary and legal jargon will be used. However, it's necessary to use this jargon in order to explain foreclosure. Now, this third-party company acts on behalf of your mortgage company, and they're called a trustee. This company, the trustee, will mail you a document called a notice of default. It'll be mailed to you by both regular mail and by certified mail. The notice of default is recorded at the county recorder's office and is a public record. Now, since it is a public record, lots of people get a list every day of everyone who's had a notice of default recorded against their property. As a result, you'll no doubt be flooded with solicitation officers from investors, other mortgage companies, bankruptcy attorneys, and so-called mortgage rescue companies. If you think spam is bad, wait till you see your real mailbox. You know that expression about sharks smelling the blood in the water? It's kind of like that. The best thing to do is to ignore these useless, self-serving solicitations and listen to someone you can trust. The notice of default looks terribly official, even a bit scary, but it tells you very little. It won't tell you how much you need to pay to bring your loan current, whom to contact to get additional information, where to send your payments, or how long you have before you're evicted. But don't let that information faze you. I'm here to explain how the process works from here and what steps you can take to get the answers you need and to protect yourself and your family. Once you receive the notice of default, you can ask to participate in a program called Foreclosure Mediation. The forms to apply for this program are usually sent to you with your foreclosure papers. If not, they should arrive a few days later. Foreclosure mediation is a way for you to meet with someone from your mortgage company in the presence of a neutral party. Like a first date with a chaperone, you both have one thing on your mind, but your goal is to reach an agreement to modify your loan so that you can keep your property. Now, there is some fine print. This program is only available if the property is your home. If you're a tenant or if this property is a rental investment property, you're out of luck. The fee to participate in this program is $200. Cashier's checks or money orders only. You must submit the payment with your application within 30 days of receiving that foreclosure paperwork. But once you do, guess what? You've stopped the clock. When you apply for foreclosure mediation, you pause the foreclosure process. Of course, foreclosure mediation is not a magic wand. Although it can be a useful way to solve your mortgage problem, mediation cannot force your lender to help you save your house in any particular way, as much as you'd probably love to give your lender a headache. Mediation is simply an opportunity to meet with your mortgage company to see if you can reach an agreement. For foreclosure mediation to succeed, you need to show the lender that it is in their best financial interest to work with you. If you're good at following instructions and having your finances organized, it's possible to represent yourself in mediation. Of course, if you do need help, my office would be happy to consider representing you. If you do not sign up for foreclosure mediation, 35 days after you receive the notice of default, your right to pay the past due amount to bring your loan current technically ends. So if you stop the clock by filing for foreclosure mediation on day 20, if the foreclosure mediation is unsuccessful, you'll have an additional 15 days after the foreclosure mediation is over before this deadline expires. Now, under Nevada law, if you bring in all your past due payments on day 36, your lender can refuse your payment and proceed with the foreclosure unless you pay off the entire loan in full. And if he's a jerk, he just might. Of course, with the bad economy, lenders are much more willing to lend a listening ear these days. Once a total of 90 days have passed since the notice of default was mailed to you, and excluding the time you were waiting for the foreclosure mediation to take place, the foreclosure company trustee can schedule a public sale of your property. Notice of the sale must be mailed to you 20 days before the sale takes place. But you don't actually get 20 days advance notice of the sale. The notice just happens to get mailed to you 20 days before the sale. You may not even receive the notice until a few days before the sale is scheduled, or you may not receive it at all. Doesn't sound very fair, does it?